Hey guys, welcome back to Adventure Camping. Tactical Nut here with another review for you. This time, it's going to be another flashlight review. This one is called the Nitecore MT21A, as you can see here. It's 260 lumens, and as you can see by the specs on the box, basically you get 55 hours on there. Now the reason why I like this one, and I would just go ahead and put this part out there now, is the throw on this thing is ridiculous. This 200 meters, right? A couple other things that I do like about it are that it is waterproof up to 2 meters and drop proof up to 1.5. Now, as you know, if you watch my channel, everything that I get and everything that I review, I get and I use it for a while to make sure that it, is everything that it says it is. And I have to say, I love this light. It is by far my favorite light that I own right now. As you can see, it's a good size, not too big, not too small. It's thin. I keep it in my EDC bag. Comes with a lanyard with a little Nitecore logo on there. And the cool thing is that it is adjustable. So when I'm taking Tactical Pup out for a walk, I can keep it around my wrist while I'm walking around the neighborhood. Don't have to worry about dropping it. Same with the outdoors, take it hiking, camping. At least you could always hang it around your wrist and know that you're not going to lose it. The bulb on it, the Cree, you can see here, the XPE2 LED with 260 lumens. Now I know there's a ton of flashlights out there that have some really high lumen counts, but I would just say from my own personal experience, I would think about considering two things when buying a flashlight. One, when you're outdoors, how much light do you really need realistically? I've been out in the woods a lot, camping, hiking, whole 9 yards, just doing stuff outside, walking through the neighborhood, taking the dog for a walk, all kinds of stuff, right? 260 lumens, when it's pitch black outside, this is a ton of light. And now I'm not against having really high output lumen flashlights, but personally I just don't see the need to have really high lumens. The only time I would say that you would possibly need it would be as a weapon light on a rifle, shotgun, pistol, something like that. Because if you're using a weapon in a defensive manner, you need to know your target. And not only do you need to know your target, depending on the mode of your flashlight, you may never need to use it depending on the brightness of the flashlight. If you can blind your intruder, your home invader or whatever, or attacker in a parking lot or whatever, you can blind them. That can give you enough time to get away and you never have to use the weapon, which is a huge bonus. But at the same time, if you're in your house and your lumen count is really high, you can blind yourself too. Now personally I keep beside my bed the Helotech that I've reviewed, which I still highly recommend. It's still a great flashlight. It was only 20 bucks for me. It lights up the room. It's got some good throw on that one, but if I turn it on and I'm in the room and I'm behind it, I'm still okay. I can blind the person in front of me, but with this one I don't keep beside my bed, because when I turn this on in a pitch black room, it's really bright to me. And like I said, I never want to run into the time where in a defensive situation I light up a flashlight and I'm blind too. I need it to be to the person that's coming into my house or that's trying to attack me. But the odds of that happening are going to be pretty slim, so this is pretty much, going to be your outdoors light. And this thing has been really awesome. It's got a lot of modes, which I really like. As you can see here, it gives you little things that the light's designed for. But what it really talks about is it's compact and long range. So when I say 200 meters, this thing just goes for days. Now, it's not going to fill up the area that you're in, but it is going to shoot light a long way. Now, when it gets a little bit darker this evening, I'm going to resume filming and show you what the throw is like, so you can get a good idea and see if it's good for you. But for now, talk a little bit about construction. You got aluminum construction. You got your Nitecore logo, model number, there. Tailcap, I love these kind. They just work really awesome. Very positive feeling. Plus you get the momentary. I can just tap it and make it work. But now, what I like about this, I love flashlights that have multiple modes. Personally, I don't really care about the SOS mode, but what I really love is a strobe. So I try to get all my lights to have a strobe, just because it's great in a self-defense situation. Now, another reason why I got this light is because you see here, it uses 2 AA. As I've said in my other flashlight videos, I like to try to keep all of my lights that using the same kind of batteries, either AA or AAA, because they're easy to find, they're inexpensive, and you never have to worry about it. I don't want 10 different lights and 10 different batteries and having to worry about buying all these and supplying all that. So with that being said, you know, with this being waterproof, you got O-rings in here. It does come with a spare one, or 2 spare ones, and a spare tail cap in case something happens to the one that you have. But for this one, the modes, and I'll keep out the paperwork here so I can make sure that I'm accurate. And your high, 260 lumens, which, like I said, I'll do this again tonight so you actually get a feel for it. Next one's 130 lumens on, well, that was turbo, sorry. Turbo, 260, high, 130, mid, 60, and low is 15. As you can see here now, we're in the strobe, or the SOS mode, and then strobe, which I really like the strobe on this one. So in this mode that I have it on now, oops, sorry, 130, 60, 15, and to be honest with you, I always use it in a low mode. I mean, because when it's dark outside, you don't need a whole lot of light to do most of your everyday tasks, which is kind of why I go into you don't need, or why I feel you don't need a huge amount of lumens just to do everyday tasks, and even camping and hiking. This 260 goes a long way. My 110 or 120 out of the Nitecore does everything I need it to. The Ultra Fire, I mean, it goes up to, God, I think it was 800, and kind of more than I needed, but at the same time it did a lot. But this still, I mean, it does everything I need. Now, it has different modes. If you twist the head like that, it just goes into turbo mode. Every time you click it, it's going to be in turbo mode. Now, which is your 260 lumens. If I twist it, oops, going into that. Go through these real quick. Alright. You got the 130, 60, 15. I'm sorry, it's passing these because I'm clicking it off the camera. Sorry. But you get the idea. I like the SOS. If you're in an emergency situation, yeah, that's going to get the attention of a pilot if necessary, so an aircraft is going by. But for me, the odds of, unless it's a helicopter, if it's a commercial flight, they're probably not gonna see it anyway. Not that I wouldn't try, but you know, realistically, I love the speed of this strobe. I love that because it's very disorienting at night. But then there's your 3 modes: 130, 60, 15. You really want the high output, go back the other way, and bang. And then of course I like the fact that the momentary, which is you just lightly tap it and no click, you can hear there's no sound, you can just have it on for just that brief couple of seconds that you need it. This has been one awesome flashlight. Keep it in my EDC bag, I take it everywhere. It's worked extremely well. I can't wait for it to get a little bit darker so I can show you the rest of the modes. But man, really good. Highly recommend it so far. When it gets dark, I'll bring it back and then we'll finish discussing it. Okay, so it's a little bit later now. Only about 9:20 at night, so it's not full dark, but I think it's still a good time to show a good example of the brightness and the throw of this particular flashlight. So this is going to be turbo mode. And I know a camera never picks up fully as far as a flashlight will go at night. Let me move this down. But I can see, I know I'm looking at the viewfinder and it's not nearly as bright, but this is filling up the whole area around here. And the place where the beam is hitting, the center of the beam, is still really bright. But this is really filling up more of the viewfinder. Wish I could, either my camera was better, I don't know if that, how much that difference that would make. But then I'm going to move this closer with it, move it down. I mean, this has a ton of throw to it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this down, I'm going to change the modes, and then I'm going to shine the flashlight at the camera so you can see what the SOS looks like, the different, and the strobe. To me, that's a pretty important one. And then we'll talk some more in a second. So, let me turn this camera around towards me. Oops. Alright, now, change the modes. This is not the turbo mode, this is the 130. We'll go down. This is your SOS. As you can see, it's pretty distinct. It's pretty obvious if you were a person that was emergency services, military, something like that, law enforcement, you would know that this is an SOS signal. You would know to respond. And then here you go with the strobe. Oops, sorry. Must have skipped. Now this one, yeah, hopefully this is not blinding you on the camera. I love the speed at which this one goes because it's far more disorienting than the other flashlights that I have. I mean, it does extremely well, and I believe this is the full 260 that it does it at. So let me just pause for a second so that I can go back in, and we'll finish discussing the theory, philosophy of the flashlight, and why I think you should have it. Okay guys, so I just showed you what the first part of the review was, to all the specs on the flashlight, the capabilities of it, a little bit of my philosophy as to what I think you need in a flashlight. What's up there, bud? Sorry. Puppy's whining, people going to bed, so he's kind of wanting some company. So I showed you the throw of the flashlight, of course the SOS function, the strobe, to me, which are very important. But I just want to kind of give one last piece on my philosophy of flashlights and purchasing the best flashlight for yourself. And this is just my opinion. The same thing goes with guns, knives, and flashlights, outdoor gear, the whole 9 yards. Everybody has their brands that they love. I'm a gadget guy myself. I always want the biggest, the baddest, the brightest, the whatever, you know, the most multifunctional thing you can get. But there comes a time and a point in your life when you realize that, you know, am I going to use all of the functions that whatever this device that I'm purchasing, you know, am I going to use all of it? It has a lot of bells and whistles. Am I going to use all the bells and whistles, or do I just like the fact that it has them? Now, most people in the world are never going to use all of the functions of whatever it is that they're buying. So when it comes to flashlights, what I look for personally in my flashlight purchases, a decent lumen count. I'm not looking to have a handheld sun because I know I don't need it. I've been outdoors a lot, and I know that a 100 lumen flashlight serves me quite well. A 200 lumen flashlight serves me even a little bit better. But to have an 800,000 lumen, 2,000 lumen flashlight in the outdoors for camping, hiking, those kind of purposes, to me, completely unnecessary. Would I like to have them? Yeah, because how awesome is it to go, yes, I can put this in your face and you'll be blind for 3 days. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. But at the same time, am I ever going to use it? No, I'm not, you know. And this light right here serves every function that I want. It gives me a lumen count that I need, and it's at an awesome price point. I got this for 30 bucks on eBay. So, I mean, there's a lot of high dollar flashlights. I never looked at flashlights at all until about a year and a half ago, as far as looking for more than something I just push one button and a light comes on. But to be honest, every time I turn this flashlight on, I use the lowest function that it has. And almost every guy I talk to, they almost always use the lowest lumen output because it saves the battery the longest. I can't remember what it said for the amount of time that the your battery life per each lumen, but it almost doesn't matter because I look at the max battery life at the lowest lumen because that's what I'm going to use. And most people that I know, that's what they use, because just walking around your house, getting stuff in your car, doing stuff in your garage, that's all you really need. Might as well save the batteries. These uses batteries that you can find everywhere. They're very inexpensive, and this is awesome. I mean, I highly recommend buying this because it's going to be almost everything you need. I just talked to a buddy the other day, and he's going to go out and buy one based on my opinions of it because, I mean, really, I don't need a 2,000 lumen flashlight. Almost nobody does. Why would you? You know, as far as, because I mean, even those flashlights, if you have it on for more than 10 minutes, it's going to burn it up. So, you know, this part is up to you. What do you want out of it? Do you want the bragging rights, so to speak, of, yeah, my flashlight's brighter than yours? Are you actually going to use all the functions? I mean, if you got the money and you want to blow it on that, fine. But you know what? I don't. So, for me, 260 lumens, bunch of different modes, all of which I use, mostly of which I just use the lowest and the strobe, knowing that I have the good SOS capability or the turbo mode. Those are cool too, because I'm going to use those, but only on occasion. So hopefully a little bit of philosophy talk on this will help you in your purchasing needs. If you're the type of person that you just want bigger, better, brighter, then by all means do it. You know, who am I to tell you no? I just personally, I don't have money to buy all the biggest and baddest, but at the same time, this serves everything I need and more so. You know, if I'm in a campsite, if I'm walking down a trail, this will light everything up that I could possibly need. This has a 200-meter throw. I mean, 2 football fields. I don't need to see anything at night further than that because, you know what, I'm not a sniper, not military, and if I was, I wouldn't even use that anyway because that would give my position away. But I don't want to keep from rambling. So hopefully this will help you. Buying a flashlight, Nitecore, awesome brand. I don't do the torture test on them because, one, I don't have the money, but Nitecore is a very reputable brand, so if they say it's waterproof to 6 feet, if they say it's drop proof from 1.5 meters, then guess what? It's going to be. If it's not, guess what? I'll send it back, and then they'll send me another one because the one I got was possibly defective. In the meantime, I hope this helps you make your purchase on your next light. I highly recommend this one. Go out, get it. REI has it for like 33. A lot of places in stores, 32 to 34. This one was on eBay for 30. You know, so a little shopping, maybe waiting for a sale. I could probably get it a little bit better later on, but I really wanted a little bit better light than what I had, and this may be kind of the end of the road. There's another brand I want to try out through night. I see a lot of reviews on those, but in the meantime, this one rocks. So, as always, be prepared, have fun.